The important thing that we learn in all of our struggles with the Guild, but especially this one, is that the necessity of writers to our business. If they could replace us, they would have already. If we all join together in a common purpose, we can achieve things for all of us. And we have so much more power together than separately.
Struggles are scary. They require some degree of bravery, certainly a trust in each other and in the leadership of whatever guild you're in. But there is no achievement without a struggle. You know, those in power give nothing to those who do not fight for it. And so the only choice, if you want to actually make progress, is to actually come together as a guild and with some common cause.
I didn't get involved in the union for the first 14, 15 years of my career. And it was only when I got involved that I understood how important involvement was, that all the things that the Guild had given me, residuals and health insurance and minimums, that had allowed me to stay a writer for those 14 years, and now it's 35 years. But those things that let me stay a writer for those number of years were the gains that other writers had gotten for me in the past. It's important to understand that these things that we have, they can go away, and they will go away if we writers don't step up and lead.
There are plenty of things to fight for in the world, plenty of causes to put your time into. This one is ours, and if we don't do it, no one else will. The issue of censorship is important to all writers, and some censorship takes the form of outright, you're not allowed to say this. A studio saying to you, here's a subject you've written about that we don't approve of. But there's a stealthier, scarier kind of censorship, which is implicit in the studio's power to say, we pick this story over this story. Fewer and fewer people or multinational corporations are allowed to decide what stories we're told, the greater the risk is that their own economic self-interest, whatever it is, the stories that work for them for reasons that have maybe only partially to do with the stories that need to be told in the world, actually becomes a serious problem, not just for writers, but for all of us. So I think one of the battles in the future is going to be to make sure that we fight back against the consolidation of power over those who determine what stories are told to the whole world. Otherwise, we're in big trouble.
I recruited Chris to run for president, but I supported his opponent. Our work together, I think, was a discovery of mutual respect, and the successes that he and I found together in Guild leadership ended actually a fracture that existed in a Guild among different groups of members. There were political divisions in our Guild that do not exist anymore. And one of the ways it ended was through Chris and I. And so it's the value of communication, because even though we disagreed, we showed each other respect. We are now, I think, close friends, I hope, and we were a great partnership in this union.
This partnership, through the last couple of negotiations, the agency campaign, the 2023 strike, has been essentially seamless. I actually do not remember a moment when we had a meaningful disagreement.
I do believe that the two of us together helped us to the finish line. There are always those groups who have their issues, and your job is to listen to everyone and figure out, how does this issue of this group relate to this issue of this group? And we did that, and that was what the leadership and the staff did during the strike. Is we found a lot of connections. So we didn't connect everything, but we found a lot of connections, and so that everybody felt heard.
It's inherent in the job, right? Screenwriters and television writers and comedy variety writers and people who are highly successful and those who are just starting out. I mean, the job is to somehow create unity, out of this disparate group. So It's not new to us that we had to do that. I think we're a small enough group that we understand pretty well what overlaps and what's different amongst us. This was a particularly successful attempt at unifying many different interests. I think that most of the members of the Writers Guild would say after 2023 that the fight we fought together was one of the more memorable moments in their lives, full of fear and uncertainty, but there was something about being part of a guild together fighting that really felt good and meaningful, like we'd been through something, that we'd done something together.
Join ALMA, join together with your brothers and sisters. You will see so many benefits, and if only just getting to be with other writers. There's nothing I like better than meeting other writers.
The pride in being part of a group that's bigger than all of us and better with all of us.